Can I help you?
Yes, sir. David.
Yes, sir.
Happy Easter, man. Firm handshake.
Who are you?
Oh, my name's Gordon. But I got a package here for you. It's about some messages on Instagram to we should probably go over. Just want to have a conversation about it.
About who?
About that's been messaging you on Instagram. Correct.
What about it?
And just kind of seeing what's happening with her, what's going on, all that stuff.
I had to get off all of it because they were getting the 13 years old and getting too damn serious for a damn. They kept wanting a boyfriend.
Right.
And I just told them that, I took it off my phone and everything because they just kept coming and coming and coming. And I was like, I wasn't, I talked to them. At first, they said they just wanted a friend.
Right.
So I talked to them at first, and then I'd skip 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and then they'd come back and say, I'm lonely, I want a boyfriend. And I was like, first off, she was, her mother was going out of town.
Yeah.
And she'd use all these different excuses. And I told her straight up several times that, I'm too old. You're 13 years old. Get a boyfriend.
Sure.
And finally, I just took it off the phone and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, how often does that happen with kids trying to talk to old?
Good day, folks. Welcome to Andrew's Life. What you guys just saw was potential predator out of Coleman, Alabama, who apparently is interested in the little ones. I gotta watch what I say here on YouTube. They don't like certain terminology, but yeah, he's interested in the little ones, as you guys probably saw. And that little clip is coming off of a video that was made that is on the PP Southwest Texas YouTube channel. Go check them out. They do wonderful work. The host name is Alex, and I believe he's got several channels under his name. He does wonderful work, so go check him out. I just want to give that shout out to him real quick. And now, before I play another segment of that video, I just want to point out one thing. Now,
So get a boyfriend.
Sure.
And finally, I just took it off the phone and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, how often does that happen with kids trying to talk to older men like this?
On Instagram, they come on with a picture of a 23, 24-year-old girl.
Right.
And you get talking to them.
Sure.
But it's all off of Instagram. They're the ones that are pushing all of it.
Okay.
And that's the reason I came, I got off of it. Because, hell, I had, at one time, four or five different girls that I was talking to.
Yeah.
Not friends, just talking to.
Right.
And every one of them eventually started going to, I want a boyfriend.
Okay.
And I keep telling them, I'm 60 years old.
And how old were they? Or at
All
least...
of them were 13.
Jeez.
Every one of them.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And they're the ones that are pushing. Instagram is pushing it.
So you think it's common for them to just try to talk to older men like this?
I don't know what. None of them. All of them had single mothers. And all of them claimed that their mothers didn't care about it.
God, well, sadly, that's common nowadays.
But that's not true. And like I tell them, if she didn't care about you, you wouldn't have a home, you wouldn't have food, you wouldn't have your clothes, you wouldn't be going out to the store, shopping, stuff like that.
Right.
That's showing care.
Exactly. No, I agree.
And it's but yeah, over the last 7, 8 months, they're full of them.
Jeez Louise, man. Okay.
But it's and all of them are 13 years old.
Anyone that's like 12 or 14 or anything? Or are they all just 13?
Huh?
Are there any that are like 12 or 14 or?
No, they're all 13. Every one of them.
What the hell?
And every one of them come across on a they're not saying they're 21 or 22, but the picture they're showing
looks at be that
and
age.
fully dressed. It's it's on Instagram. They're fully dressed, and then you get to talking to them, and you listen to their words and everything, and you're like, how? So, well, I talk to you as a friend.
Right.
Oh, I want a boyfriend. Well, go to school and get a boyfriend.
Right.
I talked to them like a granddad or something.
Yeah, of course.
And they just kept coming and coming. And I was like, this. Well, I mean, I was looking for actually the law.
Right.
And I was like, this got to stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to get railroad and I'm innocent. I haven't asked for it. They are pushing it.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely what it looks like to me. I mean, I'm not disputing that. So do they ever try to bring you to other apps and all that stuff, or?
One of them mentioned Telegram.
Yeah, what's up with that one?
But all the others are just sitting there talking on Instagram.
Good day to everybody. Welcome to Andrew's Life. What you guys just saw was a Coleman, Alabama man who apparently is interested in the little ones. He doesn't quite like to date females his age, if you catch my drift. Now that video, that little segment is off of a video that was made on the YouTube channel PP Southwest Texas. Go check them out. They do wonderful work over there. The host of that channel, his name is Alex. He does wonderful work. He's got other YouTube channels as well. Check him out. Mad love to him. So yes, we are going to be talking about that uncomfortable topic of something that you have to be careful of when you move to rural America. Now, clearly, not all rural America communities are like this, but there are quite a few of them that are. I mean, because a lot of times, most people know what to expect when moving to a poor, predominantly black neighborhood. Most people try to avoid those neighborhoods because of the reputation that many of those neighborhoods have. However, there's a growing amount of people that are moving out to the country and wanting to start a homestead or wanting to live off grid, or you got people moving out in the country because for whatever reason they're sick and tired of the city life and they want peace and quiet, all that good stuff. I live out in the country myself. However, when moving out in the country, one thing that you got to be careful of if you got children are people like the man that you guys saw a minute ago. Because you got men out here in some of these small rural communities that, as I said a second ago, they're not particularly interested in dating females of their age bracket. They're not even interested in dating females that are of legal age. They prefer the little ones. I think you guys know what I mean. So for those of you that got kids and you're looking at moving to a rural community, one thing which will behoove you, I can't even talk right, sorry. One thing that you guys need to do before moving to any rural community, I mean, this is something that you should do even before you move to a city or a suburb or any community for that matter, is you should go on that county, I don't know how to say it, but without getting in trouble by YouTube, you should go on that county's SR registry list. SR. I think you guys know what I mean when I say SR. Those are abbreviations. But you should go on that county's SR list. You should go on that county's SR registry list and type in the zip code of which you're going to be residing, or type in the county in which you're going to be residing, and see how many people come up that might be in close proximity to wherever it is you're going to be living. And just kind of scroll through the pictures and see who is guilty of what and who did what and when, all that good stuff, and what kind of profession that they work. Which, by the way, I will be doing on this video. I'm just going to just give you guys a example of what to look for when moving to some of these rural communities. And by the way, you got people like this man out here that are doing nasty things to the innocent, and they don't even get arrested for it. At the most, the local law enforcement agency might come out and they might do a police report, and that's going to be about it. That individual, in many cases, in a lot of your rural counties, they're not going to get arrested. They're not going to go to jail. They're not going to see the inside of a prison cell. It's not even going to be on their criminal record that they've done these type of activities to the innocents. So a lot of times when you go out here to the rural communities, you look at this house, you fall in love with the house. It might come on some acreage and everything is nice and peaceful. It's quiet. No Pookie or Ray Ray in sight. So you buy this house and you're happy, your family's happy. Everybody assumes that they're safe. And then one day, your daughter might meet the next door neighbor who seems super nice, super friendly, super eager to want to get to know your family real well, and not in a good way. And again, I'm not saying that all rural communities are like that, because I live in a rural community, and in the rural community that I live in, I know damn well people around here ain't doing that type of crazy shit. But anyways, sometimes in some of these rural communities, you got that super friendly neighbor, they really want to get to know your family well. Well, they want to get to know your daughter extra well, if you know what I mean. So for those of you that move to rural communities, these are the type of things you got to look out for. You got to be careful. You got to protect your daughter, you know what I'm saying? Well, in some cases, your son too, because some of these sickos, they're not being the females, you know what I'm saying? So I think you guys get the drift of what I'm trying to say. And this video is going to show you guys that sometimes some of the worst criminals are not going to be in the hood. They're not going to be in the inner city. They're not going to be in Chicago or Baltimore. They might be right here in good old rural Alabama. They might be in rural Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? In rural Arkansas. And these communities, not to get too political here, because I don't really deal with politics anymore, but a lot of people automatically assume that blue communities are going to be more crime-ridden than red communities. But a lot of these sickos tend to live more so in red communities than they do in blue. I know some of you guys are going to be extra salty that I said that, but it is what it is. The truth is the truth. And I'm going to play another segment of the video coming off of BP Southeast Texas Predator Catcher's channel. I'm going to play another segment of that video. And then after I do that, we're going to go on the Coleman County, Alabama SR registry list. And we're going to look at some pictures of people that currently reside in that county, and we're going to see what their offenses are and a whole bunch of other juicy details about these individuals. So it's going to be a good watch today. So stick around. I will see you guys in a second. All right, folks, before you guys, I do have that list of all these people, and I use that term loosely. Coleman County, Alabama registry list. I can't say all the words because YouTube, they funny like that. So let's see what this man has done to the innocent. Let's check him out. A.V. Bollinger. This is address. Okay, this is all in Coleman County, and of course, you got nearby counties too, which is also located in north central Alabama. All these counties are. No, I mean all these counties are, and these are nearby cities that are located in north central Alabama as well. Has all the different zip codes. So it's very easy to do your due diligence before moving to a rural community, especially rural Alabama. And you gotta think, people. These are all the people that have actually been caught and convicted. Think of all the people out here that haven't even been caught and convicted. Like the person that you guys saw earlier on the PP Southeast Texas YouTube channel. That video that I showed you earlier, that man most likely is not going to be on this list because he most likely has never been arrested and prosecuted. So he's not going to be on this list. But these are just the people that have been arrested and prosecuted. I mean, you got, let's see. Got 5 different pages, all in Coleman County, Alabama. And each page has, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51. So each page has about 53 to 54 individuals that have been caught and convicted of doing the unspeakable to our innocence. Okay, well, our database shows there are 459 registered offenders in Coleman County. 459 people in Coleman County that have been that are registered.
According to information from the
Give me
Alabama
one
Law
second.
Enforcement Agency, ALEA, there are over 16,000 sex offenders in the Alabama Sex Offender Registry.
I don't know. My phone has got life of its own. Sorry, people. Off for a minute because it's got life of its own. All right, folks. We're going to just scroll through. We're going to just go through a few of these pictures. You know, people that you might see in the streets every day that look innocent, look like they couldn't hurt a fly. Let's see what these people are about on the real. This man, he's 71 years old. Is that his age? I think that's his age. Well, I don't know. Let's check him out. 86 years old. Okay, he was convicted of the unspeakable in 92. Oh, he was convicted in Indiana, so he's not from Alabama. He's from Indiana. So I guess the scum of Indiana found its way to north central Alabama. Okay. Apparently, he's from Northwest Indiana because it says Hammond, Indiana, which is Northwest Indiana. 7 years, female crime location is Hammond. And I guess the victim was 7 years old, 7-year-old female. Yuck. Okay, he was released in '96, so he got 4 years locked up, I'm assuming. I mean, if he would have been a drug dealer, he would have got at least triple that amount of time, even on his first offense, which is one of the reasons why people that are incarcerated despise the hell out of people like this, because you can sell illegal substances to a willing buyer and get at least 10 years in the slammer. But like this individual right here, you can ruin the innocence of a child's life and only get 4 years in the slammer. So yeah. So that's him. Now let's go back and check another person out. Hey, here's a female. Again, you see somebody like this in the streets, most people wouldn't think nothing of her. Okay, see a female, a little overweight, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But let's check her offense out. Okay, well, she lives in Coleman. She's 40 years old, female. Okay, she weighs a couple hundred. She was convicted in '04. The victim at that time was 13 years old. Second degree R. Okay, let's go back to the list. Let's look for another person that you would see in the streets and you wouldn't really think of anything bad. Let's see here. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these people, most of you will look at and you wouldn't think nothing of it. A lot of ladies out here, you wouldn't clutch your purse tighter. You wouldn't automatically cross the street on the other side of the street if any of y'all saw any of these people amongst you. Here's a lovely looking lady. Let's check her out. I mean, that picture may not be so lovely, but if you were to see her in the streets in normal everyday life, most of you probably wouldn't think nothing of it. A lot of the men would probably be trying to holler at her. Let's check her out. Okay, 49 years old. Physically, she's not bad looking. But let's check her crime out, though. Okay, this lady, let's see. Her offense, school employee engaging in acts of deviant intercourse with a student. So I'm going to assume this lady was most likely a school teacher. They don't specifically describe her occupation. She could have been a custodian. She could have been she could have been a secretary, but I don't know. I'm not even going to claim that she was a teacher. But I'm willing to bet that most likely she was a school teacher. Because, yes, I'm going to just assume that. Because there have been a lot of school teachers that look like her that have been convicted of these type of unspeakable offenses. So that's her crime. She was convicted in 2021. That's only a few years ago. Okay, well, she didn't, according to this profile, it doesn't appear as if she had to serve any amount of time in jail or in prison. Maybe it looked like she may have served a handful of hours in jail, or at the most, he served a day in jail, just long enough for them to process her and give her a court date. But other than that, they let her go, and now she's on the registry. And yeah, and again, she took the innocence of one of her students. That her student at the time was, let's see, it doesn't state the age of the student, but still, it doesn't even state whatever. But there she is, and there's her crime. That's my point. You see somebody like this in the street, you wouldn't think anything of her. I mean, most of you would probably automatically assume, okay, this is, this woman, she's safe. She's safe around your house. She's safe around your kids. Nothing to worry about here. Until, of course, you do a little bit of research and you look at her crime. Okay, let's go back to the list. And some of these people do look a little scary. And let's see here. I'm trying to find someone that doesn't look so obvious. Here we go. Here's another lovely looking middle-aged lady. Let's check her out. See what her crime is. Okay, 53 years old. Female, obviously. That's her address, at least during this time. That's her address. Let's see what her crime is. She was convicted in 2012. Her crime was, well, second degree S abuse. Okay. The victim was a 14-year-old male. And again, you see a woman like this in the streets, you wouldn't think anything bad of her. You would automatically assume, okay, she's good, she's safe, nothing to worry about here. Until you look at what she did to a 14-year-old. And some of these women, I gotta admit, don't look bad at all. I mean, they could have easily got a man their age. So I do not understand the mindset of people like this that go after these children. So let's go back to the list. If I saw a dude looking like this, I'd definitely be on the other side of the street. On the other side of the street, this dude look mad goofy. And let's see here. Okay, let's check out this fella. This man, again, you see him in the street. He looks normal. Looks like one of those men. Ain't man nothing to worry about. He just got off of work. It's all good. Let's see what his crime is, though. I mean, he's in the office right now. I don't know if that's the office of the sheriff's department. It probably is. But, you see him in the street, he looks normal. Doesn't look like anyone you would be afraid of. Okay, 40-year-old male. There's his address. Okay, well, he's compliant, but I notice how they don't have any real details about this individual. So I find that kind of suspicious. They give the man's description, but no information. Which I'm gonna I find that kind of suspicious how they don't give no information about this individual. I'm gonna assume that this man probably was a individual who worked in a position of authority. He was probably a person who worked in a high status position, either for a large company in the county or for the local government itself. Again, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I just find it very suspicious that they don't show way more information about this individual. This is basics and the fact that he's compliant. It's almost like they really didn't want to even put him on the registry, but by law they were forced to. So they put him on and just provided as little information as possible. So let's go back to the list. And some of these people, in my humble opinion, they look a little sus. I'm trying to find another picture of someone who looks like a normal person that, you know, you wouldn't even think anything bad about. Because a lot of these people look hella sus. Okay, here's a man that looks normal. Let's check him out and see what he's on the registry for. Okay, here's his address. He's compliant. 40 years old. He was convicted back in '08. So according to this little list, according to this, he did not have to serve any significant time in jail or prison. Or if he did, maybe he committed his crime in Tennessee, and then they did what they did to him here in Alabama. I don't know, but okay, aggravated S battery. It doesn't. Let's see here. Okay, the crime happened in Tennessee. The victim was 9 years old. And this happened back in '08, and he's 40 now, so let's see. Back in '08, he was, I gotta do some quick math here. '08 was 18 years ago, that's 17 years ago. Well, yeah, that's 17 years ago. So 40 minus 17. So at the time he committed this offense, he was 23. And his victim was only 9. So, there you go. And I believe that's about it for all the people that, in my humble opinion, look normal, look like they're not any type of a threat. but in reality, they've done some of the worst crimes that a human being could do to another human being. All right, folks, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys learned something. The next time you go look at property in a rural community anywhere in the United States, do your due diligence. When it comes to crime, don't forget to look at one of these type of lists. Type in zip code. You can type in the zip code. You can type in the town or city. You can even type in the county. In this case, I typed in the entire county. Because you never know. You think you're moving somewhere nice, quiet, and safe. Your kids are going to be safe. You're not going to have to worry about the local drug dealer influencing your child in a negative way. You're not going to have to worry about Pookie and Ray Ray, which is all good. But instead, you might have to worry about one of these characters doing something bad to your kid, and then your kid will be victimized for the rest of their natural life and have all kind of mental issues as a result. So just keep that in the back of your mind whenever you look at a property in a rural community. And again, I live in a rural community myself, so this video is clearly not a discouragement to move to a rural community if that's what you want to do. I just wanted to prove to you guys that there could be just as much danger, and sometimes even more danger, in a rural community than in the city. So that's all I got for you guys. Matter of fact, I'm curious about this woman. I'm gonna see what she did. I'm curious. Okay, there's her address. That's her name, Tiffany. She's compliant, 39 years old. Again, if most of you were to see a woman like this in real life, most of you would think nothing of it. It's just a typical white female. Nothing to worry about here. Okay, well, her whole offense. She was convicted in 2009. Okay, her victim was a 11-year-old male, second degree R. All right, back to the list. I'm done being nosy. I think I think I got my point across to some of you at least when it comes to the stereotypes that oftentimes people have when it comes to city living versus what people are conditioned to believe when it comes to living in rural America. Especially in rural America among a certain demographic of people. So I think I got the point across on this video. I hope I did. And if I did, I may have potentially saved a few children today. Hopefully I did, because that's what I intend to do on this particular episode. All right, folks, stay blessed, stay strong. I will catch you guys on the next one.